What's up, everybody? It is Ebontis, and I gotta be honest with you. At Summer Game Fest, I got a chance to play a lot of games, and it was really awesome. There were some trailers I had seen, and I was like, man, if this game can deliver, it's gonna be awesome. It looks really cool. There were some that were less on my radar, but I was able to schedule appointments for them. One of them was Ace Combat 8. Now, as a kid long ago with a really crappy PC, I probably had like a little joystick trying to play like an old PC version of Top Gun or something like that. And I might have played an Ace Combat like one really, I don't know how long it's been. Been a while, haven't, but again, if I ever get to like pilot something, I tend to have a good time doing it, but it's just been a while. Enter Ace Combat 8. I get a chance, and it's literally my first appointment of all of Playdays, so it's the first thing I see at Summer Games Fest. When I go hands-on with this thing, I get an hour. It felt like 20 minutes, gotta be honest with you. I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. One caveat to that was like the control scheme. The normal control scheme, you have your plane, and like, you can like go some one way or the other. But I felt like I could only go about that far. About 45 degrees. I'm like, I'm missing something. One of the Bandai guys came over and tapped me on the shoulder, was like, hey, do you want to try expert controls? Probably said it a little different, but it was something like that. I was like, okay, so we went in there. It was literally like bank, pull back, and I'm like, oh, full control of the plane. Here we go. So that was the game changer, and that is when my smile went from just like having a pretty good time to ear, like I could not put the controller down. An hour felt like 20 minutes, and they pretty much had to be like, you have to go. I had a ton of fun. Now, there's some stuff in these trailers, like the gameplay walkthroughs and stuff, I didn't even know about because we only had an hour and they're like, skip all the cutscenes if you want to actually get to the gameplay. So I skipped as many as I could. I got through 3 missions. I had to redo one of them because I was still getting used to everything, where I had to like actually kind of follow the objectives of taking out, say, a bomber versus like something else to make sure the objective survives kind of thing. That was just an hour. I had so much fun though. So what I want to do is talk to you guys about what this game is like, give you guys probably some very overly over the top praise because I had such a good time, but just kind of touch on some pieces of this game because I had fun. And if this type of like fighter pilot game slightly speaks to you at all, and you're like, I just really haven't had a chance to play anything like it in a while, this needs to massively be on your like schedule, radar, whatever you want to call it. It needs to be on your calendar, and it comes out October 2nd. We'll cover that in a little bit, but oh man, so much fun. So this is like the reveal trailer. This is going to be more story related stuff. And I had to skip a lot of cutscenes. I will tell you, there are a lot of cutscenes. Now, I think the story actually could be really cool because you've got this like fictional country and military forces and these like really massive vehicles that are strange, like ridiculous science fiction, but like future science fiction. And then you're just an awesome pilot in a fighter jet. They're kind of rebuilding this Wings of Theve, kind of squadron, and the, hype that comes behind them basically. And a couple of things, like you'll look at the fidelity of the pilots and the masks, but you also see something like a massive land tank. So you picture like a huge aircraft carrier battleship on tank treads, and it's going through a city. So you've got to do, runs at it and try and take out the objectives or however. I didn't even get to play that part. I've just seen this in trailers. So that piece there, but then you got to pause and admire the absolute beauty of the game. The skyboxes, the clouds, the layers. You're going to see like thunderstorms with huge, massive cumulonimbus, like thunderheads and stuff. And this is the Wings of Theve, the Wing and the Joker Squadron. You're Rex, basically. You're kind of the new guy. They find you floating, and you're kind of thrown into the mix and kind of run from there. But just like the beauty of the game, the fun to it, the combat, the detail, everything is taken up to a level that I did not expect. Like UE5 is working hard in this place, and they've made the clouds, the skyboxes, the planes, the combat, everything just looks so good. But you've also got this like on-ship story mystery thing. I don't even know what's going on there. Great voice acting, because I know a couple of the voice actors from other games and stuff. They're going pretty hard. And you've got some really futuristic jets for enemies, and you've got an awesome arsenal to pick from. We get to see more of that in the other video. I don't even know everything going on in the story because, again, skipped every cutscene just to try and get as much gameplay as I could. And if that's your thing and you just want to fly planes and shoot things out of the sky and you don't care as much about the story, you can probably skip a fair amount of it, but I think the story is going to add something to this because it looks like they went really hard on the story, and Ace Combat tends to do that. Ace Combat's a story-based game on top of the combat. So that's the basic trailer. You get the date, and this is kind of where I was like, okay, kind of excited, got the trailer. When I sat down, my fun level went through the roof, truly. hands on the controller, thumbs on the thumbsticks, and then as soon as the expert controller was in there, it was like, oh man, I'm like banking and flying and dogfighting, trying to follow these guys, locking on, getting up, so much fun. So there's another trailer that goes into some more detail. Let me switch over to that one, and I want to show you some of the features that even I didn't hardly know for a little while because they look amazing and the detail in this thing looks pretty crazy. So let's switch. So Project Aces, developer, by the way, working with Bandai Namco, so they did an amazing job here. So this is Ace Combat. This will go into a few more detail. So you've got ground bombing missions, you've got buildings, you've got dogfighting, you've got massive like boss type vehicles that you've got to take out. But it's like looking at the clouds and everything you fly into, there's a lot to this. And I'll try and kind of talk over the video as they go so you can kind of listen to it a little bit, but mostly I'm just going to be kind of explaining my thoughts on everything. First one is the clouds, the world, the everything you get to fly around. It is gorgeous. It truly is. The skyboxes, the layers of clouds that you're flying through and in and around really set up the world to just feel like I'm a fighter pilot in the middle of the sky and this is amazing. And that's pretty much what it felt like. And this is when things get awesome. So this is going to be your kind of cockpit view. You've got your lock on, firing your missiles, taking out targets, and every one of these where you're like locking on, firing, feels good every time. I'm telling you, it's like Top Gun. Every time Tom Cruise launches a missile and it explodes on screen, every one of them feels that good. Granted, it might get old after like, 20 missions or something, but dude, I don't care. If you're chasing somebody and you get the lock on, and you're like, firing, and you see it launch because sometimes they miss, sometimes with flares or they don't get to. Now this I had no idea about. Flying through a tunnel and jet is obviously a bit unrealistic because it would have to be the best pilot in the world to probably not die, but still very cool to fly through there and take out some targets in there. So you're flying around this like whole city taking out targets. You've got the story piece. I'm going to jump through this just a little bit because like the briefings are really in depth, but they're going to give you an idea of what you're going after. You can see here's a giant, I mean, this is an unrealistic plane, obviously. I don't know if that could ever actually take off, but 10 engine, massive plane. These are like some of these very boss type figures and stuff that you go through. Is all set up in the fictional world, as I said. Your squadron comes in, but you've got this crazy skill tree. So there you go. We're going to eliminate everybody with Joker Squad. And then you jump into the aircraft skill tree. So you're going to be able to see you've got roll, acceleration, pitch. So you've got parts. You've got loadouts for missile reload, power of missiles, but you've also got the actual aircrafts themselves that you need to unlock and purchase. F-14, F-18, the Mirage 2000 over there. You've got the A-10 Warthog and obviously some bonuses there. Multiple F-18s. Hold on, I want to go back like a frame. That's an F-15 Eagle up there. I'm still waiting to see if there's like an F-22. I would love to see that. Massive amount of planes to pick from that you're going to unlock, and I don't know if you have to like buy more of them with money or how that works because some of these say multiple, some of them say single.
Consider the mission objective and your place.
So here's your big list of what you even might. So they're like ×1. There are 4 F-18s. Not sure if those are your base ones or you need to switch it up. F-14, 3 different F-18s, Su-35s, MiGs, Mirage. Like if you have any idea about fighter jets over the course of history at all, like there's some cool ones in here and I'm hoping there's more, and the enemies look to have some cool stuff. But you'll also notice on the right, whatever aircraft they're on, for example, you can see speed, maneuverability, stability, air-to-air, air-to-ground, defense. Like there's stats to these things. There's slots for body, for arms, and miscellaneous. And you've got your weapons and ammo and things of that nature, and you can see your mission benchmark. You're like air-to-air, air-to-ground. I don't know if your squad fills all of those out, or you can get upgrades per se, but I would imagine you'll get to a certain point where it's either multiple, however you have to hit that mission benchmark. But you get like 6 target air-to-air missiles. Like when I played, I got 4. So I could literally lock onto 4 planes. Like if I'm flying up behind a group and there's a big boss with 4 escorts, I could lock onto the 4 escorts, fire at all 4 of them, potentially take them out from range before I ever get in the mix with everything else. That was cool. This is 6, and you'll actually get to see it in action, which is awesome. You got bombs, you've got quick air-to-air missiles, which are like your 1-2, wait for those to kind of reload. And that's your secondary. Then you get into parts. This is where it's like, okay, so in the F-18E Super Hornet, body parts, he's got 5 to pick, 5 slots to like equip, and he's got all of these unlocked. So like superior maneuverability or flap auxiliary pressurization device is going to give you something. And you'll see the highlight as he goes, and you'll see in the middle speed, maneuverability, all that stuff. There's a little blue piece next to speed. But by the time you get done with this segment, you're going to see how much of an upgrade all of these things tend to add. Because you got armaments, like then you have your miscellaneous parts. And it jumped away from that frame on me. But as you get through takeoff weight augmentation, and you can see how much more he's actually like equipped to improve how the plane feels. The air-to-air benefits, your homing, your range is better, your weapon specs are better, and then now you can see the mission benchmarks. He's cleared air-to-air, and he's got air-to-ground as well. So all of these, if it's just from the one plane, that is a massive amount of like specifics for what loadouts you need, the differences you're going to be playing, the customization that you've got, and the number of planes. It is kind of bonkers to think about the depth in this thing. So that's kind of where I got even more excited after I like played, went hands-on, did some of that, came home, dove into it more, saw all of this. It gets to be pretty nutty how much is out there. But then you do all the setup, all the missions, the briefings. Then you get to like sit on deck on the carrier, and you go through a full-on takeoff sequence. One next to you goes off, then you're up. You got the radar on the side, cockpit view, and it's just like, and now I'm flying in Top Gun, and it's so cool. Cleared for takeoff. Spool up the afterburners, fire, and go. And it's just so cool. So you got your speed, your altitude, you got your stuff off to the right for armaments and ammo quantities. And then here you can see like there's these big trails in the sky. The radar has like 3 different modes of like a big map, little map. There's a couple different things.
Using visual cues such as contrails or the glint of a cockpit reflecting sunlight.
But this is where you can see having 6 missiles go out at the same time and having a massive, like, crazy boss plane with, like, 10 engines on it. There's 6 things that you could actually lock onto, which is kind of nuts. But you've got, like, the support aircraft. You kind of want to take those out first, whether they're, like, you know, just, like, jets or massive supply craft or whatever it may be. This is the big flip around where you can kind of do some cool maneuvers. 6 target lock on, fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count them all. All of those hit. A wing breaks off. The wing can actually fall into another one of these massive things if there's 3 of them. And then that's something they mentioned too, is that like as you fire your weapons, they don't specifically have to hit the little target icons all the time. If you just unload your guns into the middle of the aircraft, you're going to do damage to it, and they show it kind of right here, where you're like, I need to do some damage, and I'm just going to unload my, you know, all these bullets and like do damage to it. And eventually you can see like he destroys them just by finishing them off there without just locking on the missiles for the target. So there's a little more freedom to what you go for.
Strategic element where enemies you shoot down or destroy.
Like when you shoot or when you destroy these things, have them, as they say, there's multiple of these kind of flying at different elevations. And if it falls and crashes into another one, bonus. 2 for 1 special. So it's just like, it's tons of fun. I had an absolute blast playing. The boss mechanics that you can get into is crazy, because you got the airborne and you got the land vehicles and who knows what else. They're going to be in some crazy, you know, these look like MiGs for Shadow 55. Those look like black F-22s, like black painted F-22s, but I don't think they are. They say A-50s. Like that's a radar plane, so that's very different. But then you get into, like, for whatever reason, I don't, like, you've had commentary in games where, like, that's kind of okay, or commentary in games that, like, fits. The dogfighting commentary is really good. Like, it was like, hey, we're helping out. Okay, are we going to go to this other objective over here, whatever it may be. I had one mission where I had to defend this thing first. Then there was a squadron coming in from the northeast of the map. I had to fly up and intercept them and take out as much as I could. Then there were bombers coming in from the southeast. I had to fly back down, focus mostly on the bombers while evading the dogfighting, to make sure I take out the bombers before they get to the main objective that I was trying to defend in the first place. This, like, mission 3 was like a 3-part mission, pretty extensive work, and by the time you get done, you're like, oof, I gotta go back on deck and land and cool off. And, like, honestly, like, the on time of the mission versus, like, your off, when you might, like, have some time to check out the missions and slow down a bit, kind of feels fitting for that pacing change that you might need. If you just want to go, skip your cutscenes if you want, but honestly, I think you'll be kind of doing yourself a disservice if you don't enjoy some of the story that's here. And you can see he's firing the missiles out, taking out the plane, taking out the big wings. There's just so much here. And then, as I said, this crazy, massive land tank boss vehicle battleship on treads. I didn't even get to play this. Seems like other people are out there a week before Summer Games Fest got to, and it's like, this is wild. So people are describing it as like a trench run, and you've got this thing driving through buildings, and how you've got to stop it and slow it down. Seems pretty crazy. Like, the overall theatrics, the amount of like anti-air that you can see up there, those are not anti-air, that's like railgun anti-air. It is pretty nuts, and the difficulty is there. Like, the second mission, I'm pretty sure I had to replay when I was sitting there. That's why I didn't get to see all the missions available, but there was a ton. The difficulty's real. If you're just kind of goofing around, not going after the proper objective, or spending too long chasing down one aircraft, you very easily could fail a mission and have to replay it. Now, they're not that punishing, but it's like replaying a mission might be another however much time, but you got to really focus on what armaments you take, what you bring in, and you might have to adjust some of those things. You can see they're taking out the tactical adjustments as the buildings come in, trying to block the giant land tank from getting through. And like, are they going to actually fall and get in the way? Is it in time? Crazy. So truly, if fighter pilot gameplay sounds at all fun to you, you can't miss this game. It's too much fun. It looks too good. It played amazingly. And honestly, like, I just had an absolute blast playing the entire thing. So Ace Combat 8, Wings of Theve. I'm going to jump ahead to see if they kind of, yeah. October 2nd, 2026. I am 100% going to be here for it. I'm going to try and have a review ready. September is going to be bonkers. You guys know that's going to be nuts, but hopefully, like, the spacing of things that I can get a review out. And then honestly, if you want to see something like mission guides from me, tips on upgrades, beginner's tips guide that I typically do, that type of stuff, let me know what content you want to see out of this one. But I got to tell you, like, I had so much fun. So if this seems like it might be fun to you, I can almost promise you that it will be even more fun than you think it's going to be as soon as you get your hands on it. So dogfighting, combat, fighter pilot, anything like that speaks to you, Ace Combat 8, October 2nd. If you want to see more coverage from me, drop a like, leave a comment, say hello, why you might be excited about this one, or if there's questions you might have that I might be able to answer, don't know. But subscribe to the channel, hit the alert bell, more stuff coming from me to you. Tons of games between now and the end of the year, on top of the big giant bomb that is Grand Theft Auto, but there's a ton of stuff in September, October, and of course more. So thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you back.